Elvis Presley's granddaughter has captured everyone's attention because she possesses Elvis's looks and Priscilla's hairstyle. People eagerly awaited Priscilla's response, but she seemed to deliberately avoid the topic. This granddaughter's name is Angelina Jordan, a talented singer from Norway. It is said that Angelina's grandmother worked as a maid at Graceland and married Zamani. She allegedly had a secret affair with Elvis Presley, making it highly possible that Angelina Jordan's father or mother is the illegitimate child of Mary Zamani and Elvis. This rumor greatly increases the possibility that Angelina is indeed Elvis's granddaughter, which may be why Priscilla is unwilling to address the matter. From a young age, Angelina has exhibited an astonishing resemblance to Elvis, not only in facial features but also in her singing style. She has repeatedly expressed deep admiration for Elvis and has performed his classic songs at many concerts. Her Elvis-style singing has deeply moved audiences around the world. Angelina was even granted access to the second floor of Graceland during a visit, an area reserved only for Elvis's closest family and friends. Do you think Angelina is really Elvis's granddaughter? Elvis Presley's grandson, Chewy Thompson, hates Elvis impersonators.
I don't know if I can make it out there.
Footage of Elvis Presley's grandson, Chewy Thompson, has just been released. Witnesses claimed that the impersonator looked Chewy dead in the eyes and sneered, "Your granddaddy ain't nothing to me, son." Instantly, Chewy's expression changed. He clenched his jaw, shook his head, and stormed out, leaving the entire room in stunned silence. As Chewy left, he screamed, "Keep that son of a gun away from me!" But it didn't end there. On his way out, Chewy, known for his struggles with drinking water properly, accidentally spilled water everywhere, adding an extra layer of chaos to the already dramatic scene. Fans of both Elvis and Chewy are outraged, calling out the impersonator for his unnecessary rudeness and questioning why anyone would treat Chewy with such disrespect. Chewy's condition is no laughing matter. In 2024, a severe dog bite led to rabies, and he was given only a 1% chance of survival. This means he doesn't have to follow in Elvis's footsteps, and he shouldn't suffer such insults. A creepy rat doll revealed the death of Elvis Presley. This strange rat doll appeared at the scene of Elvis Presley's death. Coincidentally, it had also been present at his last concert. According to Priscilla, the doll was called BP and was a gift from a female fan at the concert. However, after receiving the doll, strange things began to happen. First, Elvis's health deteriorated. He constantly felt an insatiable hunger, sometimes eating up to 10 hamburgers in one meal. This led to severe obesity and a serious decline in his mental state. Priscilla once tried to secretly throw the doll away, but it would always reappear at home the next day. Out of desperation, she hired someone to investigate the doll's structure, only to discover that its name coincidentally matched the abbreviation for the Black Death. This revelation left her deeply unsettled. Not long after, Elvis mysteriously died in the bathroom of Graceland. In an interview, Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie, once said, "I was always afraid of that doll because it always had bloodstains on it." Strangely, no one has seen the doll since. Some believe it carried a curse, while others say it was an act of revenge from a female fan. Perhaps the truth will only be revealed when the doll reappears. Priscilla mentioned in an interview that Elvis Presley's peculiar habits led to the breakdown of their marriage. 1. Elvis had a strange habit of watching TV in a completely dark environment, with only the light from the TV illuminating the surroundings. This led to his unusual sleep schedule, where he could only sleep during the day but was energetic at night, causing a significant time difference between him and Priscilla. 2. Elvis also liked to spend a lot of time in the bathroom. He enjoyed inviting many girls to join him in the bathroom to create music, sometimes for up to 3 hours, and he composed many famous songs there. 3. Elvis was very fond of airplanes and bought 3 in his lifetime, one of which he named Lisa Marie after his daughter. However, he engraved the name of his ex-girlfriend on the plane. 4. He was very skilled in karate but suffered from back pain as a result of his karate practice. He showcased his karate skills during concerts. 5. Elvis refused to have sexual relations with women who had given birth, so after Lisa Marie was born, he chose to separate, which eventually led to their divorce. He also liked to eat some strange food combinations, such as bananas with hamburgers. Ultimately, Elvis died from constipation in the bathroom. It's no wonder that some people say Lisa Marie Presley died in the same way as her father Elvis. And there are several lesser-known reasons that are chilling. Like her legendary father Elvis, Lisa Marie also faced her own health challenges. Elvis died due to severe health problems, and Lisa's life also ended tragically in a similar manner. It is said that Lisa's cause of death was intestinal obstruction, which was the same disease that Elvis Presley suffered from. In the weeks leading up to Lisa's death, she lost over 50 pounds, a situation similar to Elvis's. Priscilla Presley said that in the last few days she saw Lisa, she knew something was wrong. It seemed like Lisa had undergone weight loss surgery, but it had failed. She said this feeling was exactly like the last few days of Elvis's life. Moreover, the suicide of Lisa's son, Benjamin, had always been a source of heartache for her. After her son's death, Lisa began to overeat, and her figure gradually deteriorated. Priscilla continued to describe those days as chilling and sad. What other causes of Lisa's death do you think there might be? Will he hide on the second floor like Elvis? Or hide from the public eye under another identity? Did Elvis's makeup artist foresee his death? On August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley passed away in the bathroom upstairs at Graceland while reading a book at the age of only 42. However, it is rumored that a makeup artist had already sensed his premature death through his skin. A month before Elvis's death, the makeup artist had told him, "Your skin doesn't look good." After all, Elvis's weight had reached 350 pounds at that time, and he would even be out of breath while singing on stage. The makeup artist also half-jokingly added, "Your complexion is very pale. It looks like you might only live for another year." Elvis just laughed it off, seemingly unconcerned about his health. However, it turned out to be not a year, but a month. Although this conversation was considered just a joke between the two, the makeup artist later deeply regretted not taking it more seriously and urging him to see a doctor. It is said that since learning of Elvis's death, this matter has haunted the makeup artist. She was deeply saddened by the way Elvis passed away in the bathroom. Elvis Presley had some very peculiar and unique habits. As the king of rock and roll, Elvis tried to live a normal life within his Graceland estate. But like many celebrities, he also had some unique quirks. He would eat the same food repeatedly for long periods until he got tired of it, and while eating, he would often zone out, holding the food in his mouth until someone reminded him. Additionally, Elvis had a strong obsession with cleanliness. His ex-wife, Priscilla Presley, once stated that he didn't like eating at other people's homes because he didn't want to use their utensils. Not only that, but Elvis always ensured that the person cooking would wash their hands thoroughly and would closely observe them. He would even drink from the handle side of a cup because he knew no one else would drink from that side. Therefore, Elvis had a very low tolerance for dirt. Many women he dated had to undergo a cleanliness check before meeting him. Elvis's team would carefully inspect any woman's feet, and only those who met the standards would be considered potential dates for Elvis. Because of this, there may still be Elvis Presley's children living in the world. Bob Joyce's grandson, Ben, recently leaked a new photo claiming to prove his grandfather is Elvis. First, there's the gap in Elvis's teeth. Elvis had a gap in his teeth in his early years, but the gap was filled when he got rich. In recent photos, Bob Joyce, his grandson Ben, and a cousin also show similar gaps in their teeth, suggesting a family connection. Second, the service certificate. A recently leaked certificate issued by the Department of Defense and signed by Donald Rumsfeld recognized Elvis Aaron Presley's service during the Cold War. Although Elvis was officially reported to have died in 1977, the certificate shows that he served from 1945 to 1991. Then there are the same markings. Elvis and Bob Joyce have the same markings on their faces, arms, and lips. Finally, attendance at family events. Bob was often seen at Graceland, including Lisa Marie Presley's birthday party, and allegedly attended her funeral. According to reports, Bob has always maintained close contact with Elvis's family, and all this evidence points to a surprising conclusion. Bob Joyce may be the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Strange phenomena were seen in the sky at Elvis's funeral. From the time the king was announced dead at 2:56 p.m. on August 16th to the viewing of the body the following day, some strange phenomena occurred, including the peculiar return of the body to the Memphis funeral home. The body was transported in 16 white limousines, a separate white Cadillac hearse, and a special casket, which was flown in. At about 8 p.m., just when all security measures were in place, the tour was suddenly canceled. Vernon personally called the fan club president to ask them not to attend. Shockingly, the body was privately displayed at 11:30 a.m. the next day. Some of Elvis's closest friends were asked not to attend the funeral. At this time, it was reported that a black helicopter was hovering over Graceland. Before Elvis was found dead, some speculated that Elvis may have boarded that helicopter and had another person sent to impersonate him. The real purpose of the funeral was to conceal the truth, including the fact that the specially made coffin was probably just an empty coffin. These details further intensified the mystery surrounding whether the king was alive. Did you know Elvis Presley's twin brother, Jesse Garon, may not have actually died? Instead, he might have acted as his double until after Elvis's death. Evidence 1. Brown eyes. In a 1970 interview at the Astrodome, you can clearly see Elvis's brown eyes. Everyone knows that Elvis had beautiful blue eyes. Evidence 2. Golden hair. Elvis was born with golden hair. Later, it was rumored that he used shoe polish to dye it black. However, according to his fellow soldiers during his military service, Elvis never dyed his hair, yet it remained dark brown, not golden. Evidence 3. The shape of his fingers. Jesse's fingers appear straight, while Elvis's pinky finger is curved. Evidence 4. DNA test. After Elvis's death, a mental patient claimed to be Elvis. At first, no one believed him until he took a DNA test. The results shocked everyone because his DNA not only matched Elvis's, but also completely matched Elvis's parents. All of this evidence points to one conclusion. Elvis's brother Jesse Garon never actually died. Lisa Marie Presley's autopsy report has unexpectedly striking similarities to that of her father, Elvis Presley. Lisa Marie passed away in January 2023, and in the months leading up to her death, she experienced numerous health issues such as prolonged fever, nausea, abdominal pain, and vomiting. Although Elvis's death certificate listed heart disease as the cause of death, he had also suffered from similar problems. In 1978, his uncle, Vester Presley, told People magazine that the singer had been seriously ill for the past 2 years, dealing with issues such as liver problems, colon issues, and an enlarged heart. In the months following Lisa Marie's death, tensions arose between her daughter and her mother, Priscilla, as Priscilla attempted to gain control of the late star's trust, which included Graceland and Elvis's family shares, seemingly for the benefit of her only son, Navarone Garibaldi. Although a settlement was eventually reached, with Riley Keough becoming the sole trustee of Lisa Marie's estate, it was also agreed that Priscilla would be buried in the plot closest to Elvis. What are your thoughts on this situation? Bob's legs are uneven like Elvis's, and the king's signature boots he wears make the similarities even more striking. First, in a behind-the-scenes video, people notice that Bob Joyce has a unique physical characteristic. One of his legs is shorter than the other. This physical difference allowed Elvis to perform his characteristic leg moves, despite causing severe back and hip pain. Interestingly, Bob Joyce also possesses the same characteristics, leading to more speculation. After all, no one else can come as close to Elvis's musical style as Bob Joyce. Joyce is a very devout religious person who owns a church, and it is well known that Elvis became very devout in the later stages of his life. Then there are the identical marks. Elvis and Bob Joyce have the same marks on their faces, arms, and lips. Lastly, there are the family events. Bob is often seen at Graceland, including at Lisa Marie Presley's birthday parties, and is said to have attended her funeral. Reportedly, Bob has maintained close contact with Elvis's family, and all this evidence points to a surprising conclusion. Bob Joyce might actually be the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. This is truly terrifying. Someone actually managed to sneak into the second floor of Elvis's house.
Even if I'm dead, nobody will go upstairs.
Everyone knows that after his death, his mansion was completely sealed off as per his wishes, with strict prohibitions against anyone entering, especially the second floor. Even years later, when the mansion was opened to the public as a tourist attraction, the second floor remains strictly off limits. No one, not even presidents or high-ranking officials, has the privilege to enter. The second floor includes Elvis's bedroom and bathroom, and it was in this bathroom that Elvis reportedly suffered a fatal heart attack. When rumors started circulating that Elvis had faked his death, many began speculating that he might still be up there. Later, when Lisa Marie Presley married Nicolas Cage, Nicolas was granted special access to the second floor, supposedly to visit Elvis. It is said that they had a long conversation inside, and Nicolas even spent the night there. The next morning, as he left, Nicolas looked around as if checking if anyone was watching, adding an extra layer of mystery to the entire event. A shocking fact is that Elvis's only daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, was not eligible to inherit her father's $100 million fortune until she turned 25. As Elvis's sole heir, there were three main reasons why she couldn't immediately inherit the wealth. First, Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, was an incredibly greedy person who took almost all the money Elvis made. He even tricked Elvis into signing an unfair contract, giving the manager full control over the Presley family's finances, which caused long-standing conflicts between the family and the agent. Second, when Elvis passed away, Lisa was only 9 years old, completely incapable of managing such wealth. Lastly, because Elvis doted on his only daughter, Lisa grew up in a lavish environment which led to her reckless spending. Elvis set the inheritance age at 25 out of love for his daughter, but he could never have imagined that shortly after she received the inheritance, her manager Barry made terrible investment decisions and charged exorbitant management fees, ultimately turning Lisa's immense fortune into debt. According to her ex-husband, the debt amounted to $16 million. This is truly puzzling. Why did Chuy Thompson start drinking water frantically and spitting it out after he went up to Elvis's second floor? Recently, Chuy Thompson angrily left an Elvis impersonation event because he couldn't stand others insulting his grandfather, Elvis. This inevitably raises suspicions about whether this was Elvis's intention. It is well known that Chuy Thompson, as Elvis's grandson, never received any money from Elvis, but he inherited Elvis's strong genes and appearance. He previously wanted to be a singer like his grandfather, but unfortunately his singing voice was not like Elvis's, so he gave up. Later, he secretly entered Elvis's second floor, and it is said that he stayed there overnight. After coming out, it was reported that he was bitten by a rabid dog and uncontrollably sprayed water when drinking. His drinking movements were as peculiar as Elvis's dance moves, which is baffling. Perhaps this was a suggestion from the hidden Elvis to help him attract the audience's attention. Subsequently, at the Elvis impersonation event, Chuy Thompson stood up to defend Elvis, gaining more favor. What do you think about this situation?
My grandfather is Elvis Presley.
Chuy Thompson does indeed have a connection to Elvis Presley. When Elvis was with his girlfriend Linda Thompson, they had a child, who later became Chuy Thompson's parent. Although Chuy Thompson never received any money from Elvis, he inherited Elvis's strong genes and appearance. It is rumored that he will soon become the new owner of Graceland. Chuy Thompson has already lost over 50 pounds to avoid the excessive obesity like Elvis, proving his determination to break this cycle. In 2025, Chuy Thompson had an argument with an Elvis impersonator at an event, which led him to become mainstream and one of the most popular TikTok users. He seems to be gradually following in Elvis's footsteps to fame. Unfortunately, he was bitten by a dog, which resulted in a strange case of rabies, and now he has issues when drinking liquids, adding unexpected twists to his journey. His grandfather Elvis died in the bathroom in 1977. Lisa Marie Presley also passed away. Elvis's other grandson Benjamin Coe also died, and now his grandson has rabies. It seems the Elvis family is cursed and without hope. But let's hope Chuy is the chosen one who can turn things around. Elvis's granddaughter reveals the secret of his death. Recently, people's attention has been on Elvis Presley's granddaughter. Her Elvis-style performances have amazed audiences around the world. Her name is Angelina Jordan, a talented singer from Norway. As early as 2016, there were related reports on the internet. It is said that Angelina's grandmother, Mary Zamani, used to work as a maid at Graceland and once had a relationship with Elvis. Angelina Jordan's father or mother is very likely the illegitimate child of Mary Zamani and Elvis. This report greatly increases the possibility that Angelina is Elvis's granddaughter. Angelina has shown a striking resemblance to Elvis since she was a child, whether it is her facial features or her singing style. Even her hairstyle is the same as Priscilla's. She has publicly expressed her deep admiration for Elvis and has sung his iconic songs in concert many times. It is well known that Elvis became very religious in his later years. Angelina is also a fan of gospel songs. Do you think Angelina is Elvis's granddaughter?
Kate took off her shoes gracefully, just like Diana, but Camilla had Charles help her remove her shoes. Only a rat treats stolen goods like a trophy. All three royal women have visited a mosque. Kate and William sat down and took off their shoes. Kate even made sure to neatly place her fallen heels. Then she kept her feet together with just her toes touching the ground. When visiting New Delhi, she went barefoot again, with no bright nail polish. Diana, a former ballet dancer, was even more elegant than Kate. By the time she visited the temple, she was already divorced from Charles, but the staff still set up 2 chairs. Diana didn't care at all. She just slipped off her heels effortlessly. The way she walked on her toes looked just just like a swan, and when she hugged the kids, she became a savior. However, Camilla didn't want to get her feet dirty, so she wore stockings inside the holy site and even had bright red toenail polish. When she walked out, her pant legs were tucked into her socks, and she eventually got blacklisted by the mosque. But Charles willingly played the servant for Camilla. He put a mask on her and covered her with a blanket, showing his loyalty through actions. Poor Diana never got to experience that. Few people realize the three major sacrifices Imogen Faith Reed made for her lead role in A Beautiful Family. The new actress starred as the protagonist in A Beautiful Family, which premiered on March 19th this year. Reed made significant sacrifices and shed many tears throughout the process. First, she bravely showcased her physical disability on television. In the series, Reed plays Natalia Grace, a character with dwarfism, just like herself. Although she is 27 years old, her height and voice resemble that of an 8-year-old child, making her a perfect fit for the role. She embraced this fact and gave it her all. Second, Reed stepped out of her comfort zone. While both she and her character have dwarfism, their conditions are different. Reed had to dedicate extensive time to studying the timeline, physical characteristics, and mannerisms of her character. Additionally, as a British actress, she had to learn an American accent to better embody the role. Lastly, unlike Rachel Ziegler, who lacked screen experience, Reed spent a lot of time meticulously preparing for her role. To ensure a successful audition, she recorded 400 audition tapes. In an interview, she admitted that she was initially unfamiliar with Natalia's story, but after researching, she became deeply fascinated. Meanwhile, the Snow White actress Rachel Ziegler openly disrespected her film, but for Reed, every sacrifice was worth it for the success of her acting career. If Charles dies, the royal family will face a major reshuffle. The protocol for Queen Elizabeth's death was called Operation London Bridge, while the protocol for her son, King Charles's death, will be called Operation Menai Bridge. First, Operation Menai Bridge will be initiated immediately after Charles's death, and Prince William will succeed as king, with the UK entering a period of national mourning. Charles's body will be moved to Westminster Hall, and the state funeral will be held 9 days after his death. He will be buried at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle, next to his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Then the UK will prepare for King William's coronation, and his portrait will be printed on newly issued currency. Kate will become the new queen, and Prince George will automatically become the first in line to the throne. As for William's much disliked stepmother Camilla, she may not become the queen mother but is likely to be ousted from the royal family. Additionally, William is likely to bestow a new title upon his biological mother, Diana. Due to the strained relationship between Harry and William, it is possible that William will never allow Harry to return to the UK. However, everyone agrees that Prince William will far surpass King Charles and become a better king. Why didn't Prince William and Prince Harry cry at Diana's funeral? When Diana suddenly passed away, her two children, Prince William and Prince Harry, were only 15 and 12 years old respectively. However, what shocked many was that the two children did not cry at their mother's funeral, as many had expected. It was clear that they were deeply saddened, but they remained composed. What many people do not know is that William and Harry were not allowed to cry at the funeral. Royal family members have always been required to avoid showing excessive emotions in public, especially for William, who is the future king, and Harry the spare. This was undoubtedly extremely cruel for the two children, but the deeper reason lies with their father Charles. As the one who wronged Diana, he did not want to see his children show their sorrow because their grief would make him collapse and feel as if they were blaming him. For the two children who lost their mother at a young age, their father became their only support. Even though they knew what their father had done, they did not dare to resent him or think too much about their mother in his presence. What is even more heartbreaking is that after Diana's death, Charles did not focus on taking care of his grieving sons. He left William and Harry in the care of nannies and quickly started a new life with Camilla after losing the obstacle that was Diana. Diana responded warmly to the Maori with a hongi, but Camilla mocked the Inuit who welcomed her. When Diana first visited New Zealand, she responded to the Maori's hongi with grace and politeness, leaving a lasting impression on many. However, Camilla's behavior brought shame to the royal family when faced with another minority group. Camilla's reaction was shocking. Even Charles was taken aback, touching his nose, seemingly embarrassed by his wife's behavior. Although Camilla became queen, she has always lacked true noble demeanor and often made mistakes. Previously, when Camilla stood with French First Lady Brigitte politely tried to shake her hand, but Camilla immediately pulled her hand away. Although it was later explained that royal members should not shake hands casually, Her rude handling left the uninformed Brigitte very embarrassed and made the British royal family appear discourteous. In contrast, Diana was always courteous to visitors. When faced with a child's flowers, she would squat down to talk to the girl, stand among the children, and warmly hug them. Compared to the crude Camilla, Diana was more suited for the role of queen.
The king of rock and roll, the true king, Elvis Aaron Presley.
As Donald Trump was taking office, he stumbled upon documents about a hidden room on the second floor of Elvis Presley's house. He decided to personally go to Graceland to find out the truth. When he arrived at Graceland, it was surprisingly quiet, with no tourists visiting, only a group of staff in suits and leather shoes, as if they already knew what was going to happen and were quietly waiting. Trump decided to go up to the second floor, rumored to be off limits even to the president and senior officials. Upon reaching the second floor, he felt inexplicably uneasy, with each room neatly organized as if awaiting the arrival of a VIP. However, a cup of hot tea in the living room caught his attention, steaming as if someone had just enjoyed it here. Just as Trump was about to continue exploring other rooms, a staff member who suddenly appeared quietly took the cup of tea away, as if eager to cover up something. All signs indicate that someone has always lived here. So who is this person?